Welcome to the channel, gamers. In today's video, I've got a broodweaver Warlock subclass build. The Warlock has got some great new abilities for the strand subclass, so I'm going to go over all the aspects and fragments that I'm using, as well as the mods on my armor to maximize the uptime of the new little strand buddies that the Warlock gets. They're called threadlings, and this states that a creature woven from pure strand matter that seeks nearby targets and attacks, dealing damage. They're actually really helpful while in combat, so this build is going to utilize the threadlings, and I'm going to try to maximize the uptime so we can always have a little buddy helping us out. So jumping on into our abilities, I'm using the Healing Rift, I'm using Burst Glide. These two abilities don't really matter too much. The Warlock has the Arcane Needle melee, a sling woven needle that will embed your target, unraveling them, activate your melee ability, again to chain up to 2 additional attacks. Now what exactly is unraveling? Well, it states here that the target is permeated with a destructive strand matter. As they take additional damage, they create unraveled projectiles that seek out nearby targets. So essentially, when you hit somebody with your melee, they're basically going to get like those Siva nanites on them, but they're going to be green and they're going to take more damage. And those little unraveling round seekers are actually going to be able to pierce the shields of barrier champions. And if you defeat a target while those unraveling rounds are on them, they're actually going to turn into a tangle. A tangle is that little tiny ball that you can pick up and throw and damage enemies with. Then for the grenade, we're using the Threadling Grenade, a woven projectile that reweaves itself into a threadling while in flight. This is going to be a must-have for this build since this is a threadling build. Then for the aspects, we've got Weaver's Call. Cast your rift to weave 3 threadlings and deploy any threadlings you have perched. So as you can see right here, I'm going to cast my rift. They don't see any enemies, so they're just going to come back to me. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our threadling charges right there, so we know how many we have at all times. Then for the second aspect, we have Mindspun Invocation. This is basically going to enhance our grenades. Your Grapple, Shackle, and Threadling Grenade have enhanced functionality. And then for the Threadling Grenade, if you consume it, the Threadling Grenade immediately generates 5 perched threadlings. So I'm going to hold down the grenade button. And as you can see, I've got 5 threadlings waiting for me, and they just kind of hover around you. Then for the aspects, I'm pretty much using all the ones that are available right now. There are more to come later on, but for the first one, we have Thread of Ascent. Activating your grenade ability reloads your equipped weapon and grants bonus airborne effectiveness and handling for a short duration. Gives you plus 10 mobility. So every time you consume your grenade, you actually get this perk to proc. Then we have Thread of Mind. Defeating suspended targets grants class ability energy, and we're going to need our rift a lot for this build, so this is good. Thread of Fury. Damaging targets with a tangle grants melee energy. So every time we pick up one of those strand balls, chuck it at an enemy, you get a ton of melee energy back. It's almost a full charge. And for the last fragment, we have Thread of Finality. Finisher final blows create a threadling, plus 10 to recovery, and once again another way to spawn a little threadling. Now if we take a look at the kinetic weapon that I'm using the round robin hand cannon. This actually comes with a new perk called Hatchling. Precision final blows or rapidly defeating targets with non-precision final blows spawns a threadling at the location. So yet again, another way to spawn a little threadling to do your bidding. And for the exotic armor, we are using the Vesper of Radius. And yes, there are the brand new exotic leg pieces called the Swarmers for the Warlock, where they get threadlings to spawn from tangles. But I've been liking the Vesper of Radius more because we actually get our rift back more with this exotic. This exotic states that rifts release an arc shockwave when cast, and the second half to this says that rift energy recharges faster when you are surrounded by enemies. And I will say it charges a lot faster than you might think. Now here's a look at the mods that I'm using. I've got a Void Siphon and Harmonic Siphon on my helmet, so that way I have 2 ways of creating orbs. On my gloves, I've got 2 grenade kickstarts. This is going to give us back our grenade, and all we have to do is use our grenade. This is going to help us with the uptime on our threadlings. On the chest piece, I have Charged Up, increases the maximum number of stacks for the armor charge. And I've got Font of Endurance. You gain bonus to resilience while you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time. On the boots, I got stacks on stacks. Picking up an orb of power grants you 1 additional stack of armor charge, and I'm rocking 2 innervations. So every time we pick up an orb of power, we get a cooldown on our grenade, and it's really easy to create orbs of power with a harmonic siphon and void siphon on your helmet. And then for the class item, every time we pop our rift, it's going to reduce the grenade cooldown. And since the exotic chest piece gives our rift back really quickly, we're getting a lot of grenade energy, and we're also using time dilation so we can keep those armor charges for longer. So as you can see, Guardians, if I consume my grenade, it's going to give us a chunk of grenade energy back instantly, and then we cast our rift, and that basically gets us to halfway. So the basic gameplay loop of this is you want to consume your grenade, get those threadlings to spawn, do some damage, and they're actually going to seek the target. Once you let them all go, you cast your rift, and it spawns some more, and they go and do your bidding. So Guardians, that's pretty much going to do it for the build. I will have a dim link down below if you guys want to try it out. And let me know down in the comments if you guys got any crazy strand builds that you want me to try out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Follow me over on Twitch, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.